Jesse Lingard was man of the match. I mean, that says it all, really. That says it all. I'm not going to go in on the guys, and it was a bit of a pre-season game. We made about, 8 changes from our last game? Maguire, Williams were the only first teamers to start. I say first teamers because Williams is only really starting because Shaw's out injured. But, I mean, bit of a pre-season game. Terrible first half. Better in the second half. 2-1 on the night. 7-1 on aggregate. We're through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Yes, guys, Man United are through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. One of the last 2 competitions still running this season, Europa League and Champions League. And we've got a good chance of winning it. We will go into this game 5-0 up. It was a foregone conclusion that we're going to go through. It was only a case of seeing out the night, unscathed, no injuries, see what performances, who could perform, and maybe put the name in the hat for some first team opportunities in the next 3 games of the tournament if we make it that far. We've found out our opponent for the quarterfinal, which is Copenhagen. They beat Istanbul Başakşehir 3-0 in their match. I think they were 1-0 down from the first leg. They won that game 3-0 comfortably. And we'll be playing them over in Germany, where the tournament will be going through not a round robin, but a mini knockout tournament over in Germany. As far as this game goes, first half, as I said, absolutely terrible. I mean, people were raging on Twitter, and I'm like, some people just like to rage for the sake of it. Maybe it gets a bit of traction, I don't know. But I wasn't raging. I was like, this is just meh. It is just very, very meh. 8 changes. Romero started. So it's Romero, Timothy Fosu-Mensah at right back, Brandon Williams left back, Maguire and Bailly at centre back. I didn't know why Maguire started. For me, Maguire has played every Premier League game this season. He's played every game since lockdown, including the FA Cup game against Norwich, which I think he shouldn't have played that game either, but it is what it is. He scored a winner, actually, so maybe he needed to. And I just felt he could do with a bit more of a rest. Came through the game unscathed. Didn't look bad. Didn't do nothing great. I mean, LASK were, I guess, the better side in the first half, but they weren't cutting us open or anything like that. Not that I expected them to. But the defence wasn't overly tested. It was just a bit of a nothing performance, really and truly. In the midfield was Fred and McTominay. And, I mean, McTominay was poor. Very poor, to be fair. Fred was better. One of the better players in the first half, at least. But that doesn't say much because we were that bad. Fred often is, to be fair, one of our better players when we are a bad team, so to speak. So, before the likes of Pogba, Matic, Rashford, Bruno came in or came back from injury, Fred was running the season, but we were a bad team. It's not maybe as hard to be better than Pereira, Lingard, Matas. That's not a massive challenge. But, he did a decent job today. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think anyone can really say they did more than decent, any of the starters anyway. It's the LASK after all. Unless you're scoring a hat-trick, it's decent. It's decent. The front three, or the three behind Igalo, who started up front, was Mata, Lingard and Dan James. Dan James was very, very poor. All night, to be fair, he was poor. He didn't really... I mean, the timing of his runs were good and he got in behind a number of times, but the final ball was never there. It was just never there. He was taking way too long to make a decision about whether to cut in and shoot or to cross or whatever it might be. It was taking way too long, giving the opportunity for defenders to come back and make the crossing angle much more tighter. And when they did get the crosses in, they didn't either beat the first man or they went straight to the goalkeeper. It was poor all night. Mata was terrible in this first half. Absolutely terrible. But he ended the night with 2 assists. I mean, to be fair, he was poor all night, other than those 2 assists, which shows that, obviously he's got the quality there, but he hasn't got the ability to do that over 90 minutes or over any lengthy period of the season. He was poor. He was poor tonight. People tell me, yeah, you got 2 assists, and that's fine, you know. Thank you for the 2 assists. You did that part of your job, but other than that, you were pissed. Passes going astray. Obviously, we know you ain't got the legs. Partly, I think it's to blame for the fact that he was playing out wide right. He started the game wide right, and I'm like, Mata, even at his best, is not a right winger, inside forward, whatever it might be. That's just not him. Once he moved into the middle and he had Dan James and Lingard as the wingers or inside forwards, he was better. Definitely better. He created the first chance, or the first goal, should I say, from the middle. One first time pass over the top to Jesse Lingard. He took long to get his shot away, and his shot in the end actually took a deflection of the defender. I think it will go down as his goal. And I'm like, Lingard for me was our best player. Lingard was our best player. They're going to give him a new contract, isn't it? They are going to give Jesse Lingard a new contract. I can see it. I can see it already. 2 goals in 2 games. Jesse's back. Man was in the press conference before the match. He's gonna get a new contract. I can smell it. I can smell it in the air, and I'm not happy about it. I mean, I'm not fuming. As long as we get the players we need to get, whatever in it, whatever. One of him or Pereira need to go. Whoever you choose, that's up to you. Personally, I think Lingard for me has to go for his own sake. I think he's better than just being on the bench for us. I think he can start for a mid-table Premier League side. But, you know, Man United product, academy player, Manchester born and bred, or at least bred, I think he's born. I guess he doesn't want to leave, and Solskjaer doesn't want to get rid of him. But I think his time with us may be up. But as I said today, he was our best player. Always, well, he looked more of a threat than anyone else. But that wasn't saying much. We didn't have a shot on target in the whole first half. Exactly. Got the first goal. Then him and Fred were taken off, and again people were raging. Oh, why are you taking off? They are 2 best players. They brought on Pereira, who he was average again. Pogba came on. Pogba was decent, nothing special. A couple of long passes that just maybe missed the mark in terms of creating a goal scoring opportunity. But what I said from that is that those were our 2 best players on the pitch. For me, that means that when we go further into the competition, Copenhagen next, and then possibly semis and final, those are the players that Solskjaer's going to call on. The ones who have performed tonight, he's more likely. I'm just watching now. Lingard's doing a post-match interview. He's more likely to call on those players who stood up today and put in a performance than the ones he left on. So I wouldn't be angry that they came off. If you're fans of those players, then you should be happy they came off, because it means Solskjaer's protecting them from any kind of injury or burnout, whatever it might be, and making sure that they are ready to be called upon when he needs them. That's what I feel anyway. As I said, Dan James was poor. He needed the whole 90 minutes from me. Just play and just keep going and see if something can come off. He looked short of confidence. Was taking way too long, as I said, to make a decision, and then the quality just wasn't there. Igalo got some decent touches around the box and hold up play and passing off. Didn't really get anything created for him. The crosses weren't coming in and weren't actually getting to him. He had to try and fashion out a couple of chances himself, and there was probably one at the start of the first half where, again, he had to kind of wriggle his way into a shooting position and probably should have done better with a shot. We actually fell behind. I didn't even mention it. It was a brilliant goal, actually. Can't remember the guy's name who actually scored it, but I think it's the same guy who hit the... Did he hit the bar? Might have been the same guy. Brilliant goal. LASK deserved it, to be fair. I mean, it was a wonder goal. They weren't expecting that. But the way that they were playing, I think they deserved to take the lead. But in the end, won the game, brought on Martial and Mengi, the under 21 captain. I don't know what the unders are. These unders, yeah. He captained them to the semi-finals of the FA Cup under 21s. He came off the bench. He played at right back in place of Fosu Mensah, and he looked decent, looked alright. Didn't really put a foot wrong. And Martial, again, he came off the bench and 1-2 with Matas. So this is the second goal that he created. Probably the only 2, maybe 3 things max that he did all night. Yeah, because he then created another chance straight after. for Martial, which he probably should have scored. He was flagged offside, but I'm not sure he was offside. So if he had scored it, it may well have been given. But for that goal anyway, 1-2 with Mata, wriggled his way into a shooting position and shot under the keeper. 23 goals for the season. And people just need to put away this idea that we need to, like, a striker is our priority. If we're looking for a striker, it's going to be backup. Because Martial is the number 9. He's Solskjaer's number 9. He's scored goals this season. To go and get a world-class number 9 or a first choice with Harry Kane or whatever it might be. Yes, they may be better than Martial, but it's not a priority because Martial was doing his job and then some. He wasn't even playing as a striker today. He came on behind the Garlo actually, and he was playing like in a just off the striker, support striker role. And good feet, got into position to score and did just that. 23 goals for the season. Goals 1 past Marcus Rashford, and he had a little cheeky look to the bench like, yeah, I'm past you, Marcus. So I want Rashford to come out firing in the next game against Copenhagen to say, I need to make sure I catch him. And that's the kind of competition that we want and we need. Unfortunately, it's only really coming from our first 11. They are pushing each other in a friendly rivalry, but we need pushing and pressing from the back, from the reserve players or second 11. They need to be pushing to get into the first 11, which will then push the first 11 to greater heights. That's what we need, and that's why this period right now is so important in terms of transfers, getting more strength in depth in the squad to allow us to compete in multiple competitions. Because a better team today, I know we were 5-0 up already to be fair, but a better team today wins this game against us. They wouldn't have gone through if we beat them 5-0 in the first leg, but in a one-off game, a better team wins today. So if we're looking to go deep in competition, we're going to have to rely on second choice players, and the second choice players today, barring Lingard and arguably Fred, no one really stood up to be counted. Bailly didn't put a foot wrong. For me, he should be the starting player alongside Maguire anyway, but you know, Solskjaer has made his decision with Lindelof, it looks like, so it is what it is. It's 2-1 on the night, 7-1 on aggregate. Man United through to play Copenhagen in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. 3 games. We win 3 games, we win a trophy. Ollie has one on the board, and we go into next season full of confidence. Come on, guys.